Hello and welcome to episode number 70 of Girlstreamers. Girlstreamers is a podcast bringing you the girl streamers that you know and love. Girlstreamers is a community that supports and promotes girls that stream. We are a bi-weekly podcast and we'll be introducing you to some amazing girl gamers and allow you, the viewer, to get to know some of your favorite streamers. My name is Nymphadora, and I will be your host during this interview. And with me tonight, we have ItsChefRuby. If there is time at the end, we will be taking questions from the audience in the channel. So make sure to type !podcast in chat. This is a live podcast, but we will also be available for download on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, and Spotify, all of your favorite listening sites. And I really need to update that so that I don't have to say all of that stuff at the same time all the time. So, Ruby, how are you doing? Welcome.
I am doing very well. How are you?
I'm good. We are not here to talk about me, though. We're here to talk about you.
Oh my gosh, the pressure's on.
Yes, it is. So.
Okay.
My
mind is ready. My body's willing. Let's go.
So seriously, happy Canada Day to you. Just a quick note. I had to switch another podcast because the last podcast that we had scheduled, my husband was in the hospital. So I was unavailable to do the podcast that day. So that person's podcast will actually be this coming Sunday.
I hope your husband is doing all right.
He is. So he's I want to make sure that I do not see it working. For some reason closed caption is not working here, and I don't know why.
I see closed captioning on my end.
Do you? Okay, maybe it's just me then. Maybe it's just me. So I do have closed captions on the Twitch channel. I don't have it on YouTube yet, but eventually we will get it to the YouTube channel as well. So yeah, he had to have surgery on his foot. They had to take out his tendon in his foot, and so he has a lovely opening in the bottom of his foot, and it's a lot of fun to deal with. And he's still currently on antibiotics, IV antibiotics, and yeah, it's a joy.
It sounds awful.
Yeah, so that's how my life has been going. Hopefully yours is significantly better.
Arguably. No, everything's been all right. It's just been an emotional roller coaster with hormones and all that stuff, but I'm good.
That's yeah, hormones will get you. So we were talking about your new PC right before the podcast. Are you using it right now? Or are you on the old PC?
I am using it right now.
Okay, nice, very nice, very very nice.
My old laptop I sold and used the money to fund this.
Oh,
so
nice.
I just did a little flip around.
Nice. So do you know? So you were testing some stuff out on the stream yesterday.
A lot of things, and I apologize to my followers in advance for all the notifications. I'm pretty sure I broke their phones going on and off.
Yeah, I hate when that happens. Like I see I turn off notifications on every person I follow because I don't want my emails to just like be nothing but so and so has gone live. So and so has gone live.
Yeah.
Because sometimes internet sucks and you go live multiple times. Sometimes you're trying to test the stream out. Yeah. No. I feel you.
It would be nice. It would be nice if if Twitch had private testing servers that give you the feed to your stream, but your Twitch key, your stream key is different, so it only goes to this private site that you can see, so you can get a feel for the feed of what it looks like live.
Yeah, because I mean, you have OBS, you have, whatever broadcasting platform you're using, OBS, XSplit, Streamlabs,
Mhm.
whatever. But like, even though it looks good on your end, it still doesn't show you exactly how it is, because like audio may sound really good to me, but it may be really soft in the Twitch channel, even though, so
Yeah, or you might not be dropping frames, but you might be dropping frames live on their end.
right, right, exactly. So that would actually be really cool to have. That's actually not a bad idea. They need better servers in a lot of locations too, like
Yeah.
because Kinky, where they're at, their internet is solid, but the Twitch ingest servers just are crap up there where they're at.
Hmm.
So yeah, Twitch, come on, get on it.
Get your stuff together, Twitch. Come on.
So how did you come up with your screen name?
Okay, so brief history of myself. If anybody ever in the history of Girlstreamers or anybody who's ever watched my channel goes to my channel, the first thing you'll see is I am trans. So, I got my name because it was the second day I came out 2 years ago. Day two of little baby Ruby, and I went and bought lipstick from a drugstore, and it was called Ruby Red.
Nice.
And I am a chef. Like that's not a ironic thing. Like I have that in my title because I am a chef.
Right.
So I just went with Chef Ruby, but I'm like, oh, Chef Ruby doesn't sound good, because then you have all these people that are, my name is Bife or that. So I'm like, oh, it just needs something else. So I went with It's Chef Ruby. I'm like, oh, I like that. That sounds good.
Nice. So Ruby came from some lipstick, huh?
Yes.
I like it. I like it. I dig it. Do you still use that ruby red lipstick?
Um, no, because my stepmom said it made me look like a hooker.
Wow. Wow, stepmom. Wow.
Yeah.
Um, so where are you from?
I am from Ontario, Canada. Happy Canada Day to all the Canadians out there. Enjoy your government holiday where you don't have to do anything.
Yay, holidays. Well, ours is on Thursday to this week, and
Yeah,
I have no idea what we're doing because it's in the middle of the week. Like, what the
I
hell?
I imagine I imagine lots of barbecues and fireworks.
Yeah. Supposedly there are fireworks at the mountain across the street from us, so we might take our chairs and go sit outside on the sidewalk in front of the
Oh, that
apartment
sounds
complex
nice.
and just watch fireworks and not have to drive anywhere, which will be kind of nice.
Sorry, I apologize. It is sweltering in this room. Do you mind if I turn my fan on? I
Go
turned it
ahead.
off because of the audio, so that is mildly better. Okay.
Yeah, I've got my fan back here, so it's all good. I understand. Cause it's like if you walk out of this room, out of the office, and go into anywhere else in the house, it's like 20 degrees cooler in the rest of the house because
Yeah,
the computer is so freaking hot. Um, so
it's amazing how much heat it puts off.
it is. It is. You don't think, and when it's like
In
really quiet
on the
too.
plus side though, in the middle of winter, dead of winter, your heating bills go down. Just turn your computer on, boot up some CS:GO, and
I mean, in Canada, I imagine that's great, but I live in Southern California now, so I know
you don't get snow.
it
I think the
doesn't get
coldest it
cold.
ever I think the coldest it ever gets there is a light sweater.
It it doesn't get cold here. Now back home in Georgia, because we were in North Georgia, it did get cool because we had the Appalachian Mountains and stuff down there, so it
Hmm.
does actually snow occasionally there. So you gotta actually have No, the funniest thing is watching people this winter walk around in parkas.
In California?
In California, I'm like, it is 50 degrees. You maybe need a cardigan. Like, what the hell is with. I'm not joking. Like, full on parka with the furry, like, I'm just like, mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm,
That's a little much.
mm-mm.
It's like seeing Americans coming across the border, because I've seen this happen because I lived in Niagara Falls for a while, and Americans would come across the border and immediately think the second they get into Canada, it's cold and snow, and I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like, and they came like this family of four came in like snowsuits, and they had skis tied to the roof of their car, and they were like, which way to the mountains?
Right.
And I go, okay, so you keep going, following that highway, and you keep going north until you hit mountains.
It's like they don't know that. It's like mountains don't exist in America or something. That's great.
No,
Oh
it's
my
like
god.
geography doesn't exist in America. Like they think a 15-minute drive across the board, like Niagara Falls in US is not going to be the same temperature as it in Niagara Falls, Canada.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my
That's great. I didn't know you lived in Niagara Falls. That's really cool. How was that?
It was really interesting. I lived just outside of Niagara Falls. I lived in a town called St. Catharines, Ontario, and I do not recommend visiting. It is a very shout out to the racist people of St. Catharines.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I
Great.
don't go back there.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go there either. Jeez, holy crap. Um, but I can't say
But
much.
Niagara on the Lake is lovely. Lots of wine, lots of food. It's beautiful.
I've always wanted to go to Niagara Falls, and it's something that I haven't had a chance to go to. Um, sorry, I am putting stuff in the Girlstreamer Discord that I forgot to put in. Okay. I forgot to say, hey, the podcast is live.
No, that's quite all right.
I'm professional. I've done this before.
Yeah, you've done how many? What episode did you say this was?
70.
Yeah, that sounds professional.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I know what I'm doing. No, I really don't. So, what's the first game that you ever played that got you into the gaming world?
That is a tough question. The earliest game I remember playing is Super Mario Brothers 3. The earliest game I know I played because my parents told me I played it was on the Atari, actually, and it was my dad was lucky enough to have a copy of E.T.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Do
he
they
wanted the
still
Atari. It
have
wasn't
it?
for me. No, 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 no. They don't have the Atari anymore, and they didn't realize how popular it would be when it came out, or how
Wow.
unpopular it would be because it's an awful game and it plays terribly, but super rare. Well, not
Wow.
anymore. That urban myth was true. So
Yeah. That is freaking hilarious. My brother currently has I guess it was my dad's Atari when and it works. Like it still works. My grandmother kept the Atari, and so we would play it whenever we went up to her house, whenever we'd go to her house. And so when she passed away, he took the Atari cuz he's got like this whole console collection set up there, and it still works and he plays
that
it.
that is honestly my dream to have when I get my own place. Currently, I live with my dad. I would like to move out, but it's so expensive to live. But that would be my dream if I had my place. Would be just a gaming room filled with like current gen, older gen, and like retro consoles.
Yeah, same.
But for the sake of decluttering my life, I just got rid of all my consoles because I have a very small room.
It uh that sucks. That you had to get rid of all of your consoles. But
Oh, I didn't have to. It was just something I wanted because I wanted a gaming computer for a long time, and
choices were made.
sacrifices you got to make.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha. No, I understand. Yeah, that's like I'm one of those people that like I would love to have like all of the consoles that exist, right? But because I don't have space, I don't have and I don't have the money, like I don't buy new consoles. I just bought the PS4 last year because our PS3 still works. Currently it's somewhere in storage and I don't know where it is, so thank God we have a PS4 or else we wouldn't be able to
The
watch TV.
do you need a PS3? I have a spare PS3. I'll just mail you my PS3.
No, it's somewhere in storage. We have not unpacked everything cuz who likes to unpack when they move, right? Like we still have boxes in the living room. We still need furniture. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a bit of a clean freak. I like to do that stuff.
Well, then come unpack my house. I would greatly
That's a bit of
appreciate
a
it.
that's a bit of a steep airfare just to come and do some unpacking.
I wish like I don't know what it is, but like I don't mind packing and I'm like really good at packing stuff, right? And I can like yeah, I'm really good at just putting stuff in places and tetrising packing. But when it comes to pulling it out, I'm just like, mm-mm, no, I'd rather just leave it there and get it out when I need it.
I definitely understand that though. I do have those lazy moments. I'm a clean freak when I want to be.
Yeah.
When I don't want when I want to leave my bed. But
Yeah.
the only console that I could see myself buying would be a Switch. That would be it now
Yeah. I really
because
I do want to switch. I do want to switch myself as well cuz there's some games coming out that holy crap, man.
Mario Maker, Breath of the Wild. Are you kidding me? I'm down for
I
all
want
that.
the new Animal Crossing game already. That was announced at E3.
Pokemon Sword and Shield.
I
Oh,
know, it looks so good. It looks so good. One of my one of the people in my stream actually sent me $100 gift card towards a Nintendo Switch.
that's really nice.
Yeah. So, it's definitely I'm saving money for it because of that. So, otherwise I wouldn't like it would be like, it's on the low priority list, right? Like it's oh. But yeah, that so I've got some money towards it, which is really nice. So, what is the first game that you played that got you into the gaming world?
Ah, you just asked that. I said
I
it
did.
was
Uh
Mario Brothers 3 and E.T.
yes, I did. I didn't highlight my stuff and then we got distracted by talking and I highlight the stuff that I'm about to ask and yeah, my brain as you guys as I mentioned is fried from what I've been dealing with in personal life. So I do apologize for that. Um
No, 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 no. You are completely fine.
By the way, for those of you who are not aware, Ruby, when we get back into, we will be bringing back the Cosmic Bulletin, and she is going to be one of two new co-hosts on the Cosmic Bulletin, and I'm really excited to bring that back. But I will personally be having to take a break in a month, just because of all of the shit that's happening in my life right now. Um, and so I'm really excited to bring back Cosmic Bulletin. I'm excited for the changes that are gonna take place. I'm excited to get back into discussing it, and yeah, I think it's gonna. I'm really excited. I'm really excited
And
to get it
me
back.
too. I'm hoping that you saw my dance. So I was excited about that too.
So how long have you been streaming, and what got you into streaming?
I have been streaming for 5 years.
Really?
Yes,
Holy
but
cow!
not as Ruby entirely.
Right.
I was under a different moniker and I will not tell you it or anybody else hear it because I'm pretty sure you can go look it up and look at my old videos, and I don't want that to resurface.
That's understandable. That is completely understandable.
But
Um,
I've been streaming as Ruby for 2 years now.
that's awesome. So, how long have you been in Girl Streamers?
I've been in Girlstreamers for, I think, well, I see a 7 month sub anniversary on the Twitch, so it's been at least 7 months since I've been a girl streamer.
Okay.
But I've been in Girlstreamers for probably about a year.
Okay. Okay. I thought so. I thought you'd been around for a while. Um, cause
Don't always talk, but I'm there in the background watching.
um, so what is the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you on stream?
Okay.
I see a story in your face.
There is, and I'm just trying to think of the most appropriate way to say this without it coming across as not safe for work. Um,
Oh.
so uh, trans women like to use breast forms or chicken cutlets, as some people call them.
Mhm. Mhm.
And somebody donated, and I, from peer pressure, somebody donated money on my stream, and uh, peer pressure from the friends that I was playing with was just like, oh, you should show them your boobs, but they were joking. But they're fake, right? So I just reached in, took them out, showed the camera, put them back in, and that's why I have a little tag on my stream that says "biddies for titties."
Oh my god. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. I mean, I can see that being very embarrassing and going, why did I do
It
that?
was
Why
it
did I do
was
that?
embarrassing, and there was a lot of questioning myself. I don't think I slept for like 2 days, at least not very well, because I was worried that I violated the terms of service on Twitch.
Oh, yeah. Well, you didn't
But
though.
I'm still here, so
Yeah. Oh man, that is both hilarious and embarrassing. I feel you on that.
on a related story for that one, I was out at a bar. Some woman comes up to the bar because I'm sitting there with my friends, and she's like, if I show my boobs, can I get a free drink? So she did, and they did. And they gave her a free drink. So I said, if I show my boobs, can I get a free drink? And they go, sure. So I take them out, I slap them down on the counter.
Oh
The
my
guy gives me
god.
like the weirdest look and then goes, fair, and gives me a free drink.
That is fantastic. Hey, free drink, man. What I mean, why not? So, what's your most memorable moment when streaming? Would it be the
Oh my
chicken cutlet
gosh.
story?
I think that might be the most memorable moment. The most memorable moment, not when streaming, but having been streaming, is when I got affiliate. I was so excited because it was just such a long climb. Like I never even broke 50 followers under my old moniker. Pardon me. And I'd been doing that for 3 years, and I'm thinking, you know what, I'm just gonna give up. And then when I left my ex-wife and I came out, and I'm trying to explore and figure myself out, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna give this another shot. And I ended up getting affiliate, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I got this. I got like a step further than I've ever been.
Well, because
And
you
now then it's just been
are
like me conquering different things in my life and trying to get those done as well. And it's an uphill climb, but like you feel so rewarded when you actually accomplish the things that you set out to do. Like I set
yeah,
out to get affiliate, and I got it. I want to set out to get partner. I don't know if that's going to happen
that's going to be
because
a long climb.
this is this would be honestly my dream job, but I do not have delusions of grandeur. I'm not planning on quitting my job anytime
Right.
soon to pursue this full time. Uh, it's I think it would be really fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's I love that it's because you are your authentic self now, right? So you're able to make because you're able to actually be yourself and be open with yourself now. And that resonates and that comes across with people. And I don't think people understand how when they are hiding something, how easy it is to pick up on that, right? Like it's really somebody is going to go, there's something off here, like what's going on. And when you are going through something like that in that capacity, like it's going to be hard to hide for years, right? It's going to be
Oh yeah.
tough. um and like I myself just came out last month for Pride Month. So that really that hits home for me personally. Um that when you came
Well,
out,
I'm really proud of you that you did that.
thank you. I mean, I'm proud of you. And it's
Oh, thank
amazing
you.
to see women, anyone, not just women, but like we have so many trans women in the community, and it's beautiful to see the love and support that they give and receive, right? Like they're just it's heartwarming. You know, it's very, very overwhelming, and it's very, very heartwarming to see, you know, you ladies just being so awesome, right? And helping others who are new in transitioning and trying to accept themselves. I mean, we have ladies who are just now starting out to, oh yeah, I'm trans. I came out 10 years ago, right? And it's like, whoa, you know, you have this range. And so it's nice to see these ladies um you know, and it's
And
not just trans, it is also, you know, you're bi, you're lesbian, you're, you know, the whole LGBT community. And
I I think people are people, and they need to stop putting themselves in a category that fits heteronormativity,
yeah,
and just be their authentic selves. If you're straight, that is great. That is good for you. But if you are unsure and you're questioning it, take the time to figure it out.
yeah,
Take the time to figure out who you are, because at the end of the day, that's all you have to look at in the mirror, right? Is yourself.
yeah,
And if you're not happy with your, like, that's one of the things that I've found since I've come out, and one of the things I've found since I've met all these great people in my life, is that I can look at myself in the mirror now, and I've had those weird moments of being like, damn, you look beautiful. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, what's that feeling? Oh, right. Pride. Is that vanity that you're feeling? Yep. Okay.
it's confidence and it
It's
shows.
confidence.
And that's so awesome. That's so awesome. Um
Sorry, somebody just showed up in chat that I was just speaking about.
Oh, nice. Very nice. um no, that's beautiful to hear. And that just I love that when you were able to become yourself, essentially it definitely opened up a whole new world for you. A whole new world. um I'm sorry. I'm like really emotional right now because my last month, my month has been like insane. So like I literally released a video myself on Friday, coming out as bi. So yeah, we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you. But
No, but I'm not so self-centered. I'm not that self-centered. Even if I was in an interview talking about me, I'm still going to talk about other people and worry about other people. So,
well, right, because I mean we're having a discussion, and like
yeah.
this is actually the first time I have been extremely open on another platform outside of my personal stream. about that, right? And so it's been it I understand and respect that emotional up and down roller coaster for anyone coming out. And to come out as trans is even harder because that's still so taboo, even more so than being bi. Because I mean, well, you married a dude, so I guess you're not bi, right? Like, just because I married a dude doesn't stop me from being attracted to women. Um,
Not at all. That is 100% true.
um, but being one's authentic self really definitely adds a level of confidence that wasn't there before. Depending on, whether you go 50 years in the closet or, 10 years in the closet, coming out gives a level of confidence and a level of self assurance that you didn't have prior to that.
Yeah, that's very true. And one of the things that are that anybody who ends up coming out can feel is the pain of regret of not doing this sooner,
Yeah,
but also knowing that it's never too late for
exactly.
anybody who is out there who is watching this, who gets the gender feels, who gets the gender feels as they call them. You know, when you dress in a certain way and you're like, oh, I feel tingly. Um, and the I guess sexual feels, depending on who you're attracted to, it is never too late to embrace those, and it is never too late to be your authentic self,
Agreed. 100% agreed. Um,
especially considering all the stories you hear about the a 50-year-old trans woman who came out. Like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, she went that long. That's incredible.
yeah. I mean, I'm 34 and it took that long for me to accept it, but I understand like why it takes so long for you to accept. I mean, a 50-year-old, they grew up in the time where, the white picket fence and 2.5 kids, like that, the American dream, right? And the thing is, like, and I was actually having this discussion with um, someone the other day. Uh, she's like my little sister, and she came out of the closet a couple of years ago herself. Um, and we were discussing how like the previous generations, our parents' generations, still view that very patriarchal look, that American dream, which has it's not just an American dream, it's permeated throughout the world because of
Yeah,
Hollywood. I mean, and that's definitely because of Hollywood, right? Because that's what Hollywood depicts, and that is the most popular outside of Bollywood, the most viewed stuff, right? Um, so you have that concept of wanting the house and the yard and the kids and the dog and, the nuclear family. Well, generation like our generation does is now is fully aware that that is not a dream that can happen. And so you have to find a different dream, and you have to and we're way more accepting than previous generations because we don't want to do what they're telling us to do. And it is very much that rebellious. It's like every generation has been more rebellious and more rebellious because they
hmm
want to be themselves. And
I think we can thank Rage Against the Machine for that one.
I mean, my husband's generation, because he's older than I am, is the slacker generation where they just didn't care. And I think it definitely started there because they were so sick and done. They're so apathetic. They don't give a shit, right? But then our generation, well, my generation is like, well, now we have to pick up the slack for you. Thank you. Screw you.
Yeah,
But it's just nice to see like these kids who are now coming out in school, which when I was in school, that wasn't a thing. Like, you didn't do that. You hid it.
No, that was not heard of. That was social suicide. That was
Right.
like a quick ticket to being homeschooled or having to change school districts because you would have been bullied into the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just, it's so nice to see parents, allowing their kids to explore these things. Maybe the kid just wants to see what it's like, and is this what I like? Is it not what I like? Maybe 2 years down the road they're like, you know what? No, I kind of like being a dude or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you you have to encourage your kid to explore themselves because they are their own person, and to formulate try to put them into a formula is is disvaluing who they are as a person, and it
Yeah,
it causes so much trauma.
it does. And to I know we're kind of I'm just keeping an eye on the time too, as well as where we are.
Oh
Um,
yeah, no, we're good on time. We're fine.
okay, good. The one thing I want to tell parents or other people who may be watching or listening is that one of the big things that I told my family and friends that helped is same candy bar, different wrapper. Like I've always been this way. I just haven't always looked this way.
That is a beautiful analogy. That is, because yeah, exactly. Because your thought process doesn't change. It's still the same thought process. Your values are still the same. It's just you're not hiding this one aspect of your life anymore.
No, yeah, and I'm still a huge nerd. Still love video games, and I still like to hold myself in my room and drink Mountain Dew.
Oh my god. That's awesome. Yeah, like, I didn't stop loving my husband because I came out on Friday. Like, yep, I'm out. Now I want to get a divorce. No. God,
that's that's
no.
that's not how it works.
No, exactly. And I think that's where a lot of people like get confused. They think that just cuz you come out, you everything changes, but it really doesn't. It really doesn't. It may change
Not
for
not
you.
not everything. No,
It might change.
obviously depending on the circumstances,
Right. Right. Yeah.
but it doesn't always need to change. And I know the one thing is that I didn't change.
Yeah.
I was always that same person. I always liked the same things. My YouTube channels that I follow were the same. The movies I like were the same. My music tastes the same. Like nothing changed. Just my appearance and how I feel changed. As in, like you feel more confident and you
Yeah.
feel happier.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Um I'm totally we totally got sidetracked. I'll get back to the
Yes,
questions.
yes, we did.
It was a good discussion. I'm sorry. I just let it happen, okay?
No, it was amazing. I loved that.
I mean, we're in July 1st. Like, yesterday was the last day of Pride Month. I mean, I love that. I hate that we didn't actually get to do this yesterday because I stupidly misscheduled stuff. But
No, 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 no. You're going through stuff. Everybody has stuff. It's not a huge deal.
but I love getting to have these conversations because I want the whole reason why I started the podcast was to really get to know the women, because as women, uh we already get shit on. And yeah, I'm about to get feminist here.
Far too much.
But and you add layers on top of that. You have, we'll say you have your base layer, which is me, a white woman, right? But then you add being a woman of color, and then you add being a trans woman. And then you combine those, and it's like, it just, all of this stuff just piles up because of your gender.
Well, I think like the hardest part of that is when you take those layers, is that you take that that little slice called trans woman, and throw it all the way over there and you have your here. Because like a lot of people are just like, oh, that's not a gender.
Right.
That's they're either born one way or the other, so we're just gonna for them.
Right. And that's not true. Like that's not how that works, right? Like
No, it's not. The best thing I heard was that um trans woman is still a woman. You're still a woman. It's just trans is the descriptor. It would be no different than saying like a fat man, a fat woman, a tall woman,
right.
skinny woman. Like it is
Yeah.
a descriptor, trans woman. It doesn't define that person. They
Right.
are still a woman.
Right. Exactly. And you know, being a woman in this kind of and as a content creator just it opens up so much and because people are so toxic to women in general. Like guys do they experience it as well, but very rarely do they experience it to the level of women, right? And the whole reason why I wanted to do this podcast was to get to know the women behind the computer and show how real and personal you ladies are and show, you have.
And you know what? I really appreciate that and I like that because one of the terms I absolutely despise is IRL
Oh,
because it creates that disconnect
yeah.
between the things that you say and do online and the things you do in the real life. Like it doesn't matter. Like it allows you to hide behind anonymity to just be a jerk.
Right. And this is still real life. Like the
It's
scars
all real life.
from, someone telling you you are crap hurts just as much as someone beating you, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes and it actually sometimes makes it worse because yeah, getting punched, it leaves a bruise and I might still, but I'm not going to feel that bruise, several days later, but I'm still going to feel that sting of that person telling me I'm a piece of shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, in this atmosphere of like extreme toxicity which exists over the internet, um that's where this kind of stuff comes out. That's why I want to talk about those hard topics as long as like mm, whoever I'm interviewing is okay with opening up about that. Like I don't want to force someone to tell me their tragic life story. No. But if you want to talk about whatever, like this is your platform to talk about whatever you want to talk about. And I have questions that I want to ask you to get to know you more and depending on where the topic goes, right? So I love that I thank you for being so open about being
No, like no,
uh
absolutely. You spend so long lying to yourself and lying to others that you just now I'm too honest for my own good. I overshare.
That's good. That's good.
Somebody could be like, "How's your day?" I'm just like, "Oh, I've sat on the toilet a little too long."
Well, yeah, welcome. Yeah, my friends all know my bowel movements at this point. You're welcome.
Oh my gosh.
IBS sucks, okay?
Yes, it does.
Anyway, oh my god. I'm sorry. Are there any games that you only play offline when you are not streaming?
um, not really in particular. I play pretty much everything. I try to diversify and play different things because I find that as a streamer, if you pigeonhole yourself to one game and that game say has a poorly received new content that comes out or the something happens and they post a racist tweet and everybody stops following the game. I I,
Yeah.
I don't want to find my viewership being based on the game that I'm playing, and I want the viewership to be based on the person that they're watching.
Yeah.
Um, So that's why I try to diversify, but I always go back to Destiny, and that has always been my downfall. Uh, Both offline and online when I'm streaming, I play that game.
Well, there's not really a problem in like so the whole variety streamer thing. I understand like why you don't want to call yourself a variety streamer. But I also understand why you don't want to stick to one game. I
Mm-hmm.
personally get bored if I'm playing the same game over and over and over again. I like to have different games, but there are genres that like I am a little bit more a fan of where other people, so that is your initial draw and then they stick around for your personality, right? And so, you know, it's I agree with you on not pigeonholing yourself into a game. Like because God forbid you want to try something else and you lose subscribers from that and lose followers from that because you don't play that game anymore. Well, that's not
Yeah,
fair. That's not
no.
fair to the streamer. Like what if they want to play a different game? Like
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing wrong with that. And that goes back to that concept of the toxicity, right? That exists on the internet because there's this thought that this entitlement, right? That well, I'm watching you and I'm paying you, so do what I said to do. Whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. Whoa. Hold up.
No, I didn't hold your hand, drag it over to the mouse, and go to subscribe. You did that. You're not paying me. You are supporting me.
Exactly.
There's a difference.
There is a difference. Like
You don't sign my paycheck. If I wanted a steady stream of income, I would just go to work
right.
because I have a job.
Right. And yeah, a lot of people's sole jobs are this, but it's not just streaming because you can't just stream. You have to diversify and do other
Yes.
things as a source of income, which is where content creator comes from, right? Because you can't just do it in this one atmosphere. As an artist, you have to diversify in general, whether it's an online content creation or just general content creation. Like it's hard to not like I mean, hell, Michelangelo painted the ceiling, right? Like he didn't just paint portraits or didn't just paint on canvas, right? Da Vinci invented like everything, right? So it just there you have to diversify when it comes to being a creator. And if if you allow yourself to be dictated by people like that, you're not going to enjoy it anymore and you're going to burn out. So,
Yeah.
and that's not fair to the streamer to force their hand because well, I paid you. Okay, well then just stop paying if you don't like
Well,
the
and I mean
content.
that's the whole thing about content creation too, is that you're right, you have to diversify, because if you don't diversify, because the market is so diluted with everybody thinking that they can become a YouTube celebrity or become a Twitch partner, is that you have to have something that lets you shine, that lets you become noticed, that lets you uh,
Exactly.
be your truest self online, and not a doctor disrespect, if you will, who will put on a facade and a character, and then ultimately you really see what kind of person they are. And from what I've seen, 9 times out of 10 with content creators, the character that they are playing usually ends up being them.
I'm not going to talk about that. uh just cuz, professionalism, but yeah, I don't know how people play like do a facade like that because eventually, especially depending on how long you do it. I mean, look at actors who do the same role in a TV show for years. It it mixes. It mixes and it's a natural process because this is funny. I was literally talking about this concept in role play like 10 minutes before the stream with somebody. I find this hilarious. But, and I'm going to actually pull this up and read it because I love what he stated when we were talking about it, because I've been sucked into the role play world, the GTA role play world, and I find it fun. And so what he says is, it is a brain hit. Your body doesn't know that you are pretending, so it responds as if it is in a real life stress situation. The thoughts linger in the mind long after the words leave your mouth. So, and it's so true in any kind of acting persona. Like, you are still, even though you are acting, it's still implementing who you are as a person. So,
Yeah.
That is, if you become a streamer, if you yourself want to do that role, keep that in mind, right? And whether your person is a persona or you're going into RP or just as an actor in general, like, that's why method acting is such a common way of acting, because it is hard to separate yourself sometimes from that role. So yeah, it causes a lot of issues.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at any Twitch streamer who is like that, there are always issues. Always.
It is so much better to just be genuine.
I agree. And I think those are the more entertaining ones because they are themselves and they're just living their life. And it's like, to me, it feels more like a friendship at that point. It's like, oh, I have an actual relationship for this person. But there's value in the acting, but you have to be able to. Oh,
Sorry.
so profesh.
I
So
apologize. I should have
profesh.
turned that off. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. So speaking of streaming, getting back to the questions, are there any games that you're
Yes.
excited about coming out this year or next
Coming
year?
out this year?
You know, because E3 just happened. Was there anything
E3
announced?
E3 was a bit of a crapshoot, honestly. There was nothing I was really excited about. I'm happy about anything Nintendo, although it breaks my heart that I don't have a Switch, and we were just talking about that.
Right.
But other than that, there's nothing that really catches my interest. I'm sure there will be things that I will buy. I'm sure there will be things that I will pay for, but I have a lot to play already. I don't need anything new. I'm excited for the new Destiny content coming out in September. I'm excited for New Light coming out. Their free to play model. I'm excited about cross save. I'm excited about borders being broken down in the gaming communities, and being able to play with everyone untethered.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't matter, and that's what I'm excited for. I'm excited for that concept. I'm excited for Stadia. That looks interesting. I'm like, are you kidding me? I Google, I can play anything on a shitty computer with Google Chrome. Like, that's fascinating to me.
I am intrigued. I don't really have an opinion on that just because I want to see what it is. Like, I want to see really how it works, because that concept to me is just so insane. And like, how are you going to make
And if
money?
it's
You know what I
and
mean?
if
Like,
it I definitely get that. And if it works, and if it does well, then console makers and video game companies should be concerned.
agreed.
And they should be very worried and thinking about having to change their models really fast.
I mean, but there's always something like that that changes an industry. I mean, the gaming industry itself is only 40 years old. I mean,
And I mean, not only that, but like the music industry went through it too, right? There was physical copies of things, there were digital things that you can download, there were things that were being pirated.
yeah.
There was the fighting of the pirating, and then the era of streaming music, which is exactly the formula that has had happened with video game companies.
Yeah. Oh God. Actually, that is a very valid. Which I mean, the film industry, which is what I know the most of because I'm in it. Um, same same thing. They're also going through that. I mean, Netflix is hemorrhaging money. I don't know how they're going to continue at the capacity that they are continuing because they spend more money than they make, and they haven't really raised their prices a whole lot. Um, but I mean, just yeah, like that is the internet has definitely changed the concept of all of those like major industries like that, and it is it's fascinating to watch. It's really cool because it's happening so quickly if you think about it.
Every I was just talking about this the other day too. Is that you and I come from roughly the same generation of kids, and our generation, as opposed to our parents' generation, saw more technological exponential growth
Yeah.
than they did. My dad had 8 tracks, and then cassettes
Yep.
when he was growing up as a kid. We had cassettes, CDs, MP3s, iPods, MP3 players, mini disc players, laser discs, DVDs, VHS. Like we've gone through so many iterations of the same product that it's insane how quick things are moving.
It is. I mean, huh, yeah, it is. It's weird to think about that and go, "Oh, wow," cuz it makes me feel old, but at the same time, holy crap, like I'm really not that old, right?
No,
Like
no,
all of that
it's just
happened
how it's been happening.
in a span of 30 years. That's insane to think about.
It is.
Um,
But if you get a chance and you do talk to young kids, that is a really fun game to play. If they're just like listening to music, like, oh, you're listening to an MP3. If you don't know what that is, it's an awful lot like a cassette, which was like a CD, which was like an iPod, which is like your Spotify.
you damn kids. Oh my god. So on that note, like are there games that like what is the oldest game in your backlog that you have not beaten?
Final Fantasy 3.
Okay. So you like Final Fantasy or not?
I used to. I used to. I loved Final Fantasy 7. I played the heck out of that. And then the last Final Fantasy game I got extremely hyped for was 13. And I was excited for it for 5 years. And then they released that steaming pile of garbage. And I promised myself I would never ever get excited for a Final Fantasy game ever again.
Oh wow. Wow.
And the remake included. I want to see it first. I will
Okay.
not buy the Final Fantasy VII remake until I see it first.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay. Cuz we have quite a few ladies who are obsessed with Final Fantasy in
I
Discord.
am not saying there's anything wrong with Final Fantasy. I'm just saying I haven't given it an honest try since 13.
uh you should chat with Silky then. She might bring you back to the dark side. Uh so
I will consider that.
on the note of like changes and stuff, where what are some trends that you would like to see change in the gaming industry?
I would like to see a more accessibility. Something in the realm of what Stadia is doing. I would like to see uh, less barriers. I would like to be able to have crossplay between platforms. I don't want the platform that I'm playing on to be limiting playing with my friends.
Yeah,
And I'm sick and tired of paying for the same game multiple times. I have the license. I have the license for the game. Just let me play it on whatever platform I want.
right. No, I
Um,
100% agree with you on that.
and uh, if and I don't think it's even going to hurt the console makers. It's not, because people are always going to gravitate to what they feel comfortable with, or the console
Exactly.
that they like, and the exclusives. Like, no one's saying we're going to take away your exclusive gaming companies. No one's going to say that we can't, have Halo on PS4. Like, Halo will stay on Xbox. Don't worry. Don't have a panic attack, you nerds. Like, just relax. But for games like Destiny or Red Dead Redemption, or things that are on multiple consoles, give us the
Overwatch.
ability. Overwatch, give us the ability already to just play with our friends.
Yeah. Like I play Overwatch on computer because I'm way better at FPS on the computer because my reaction is so much better. When I try to play it on PS4, it is garbage and in that capacity. Now when
I
I
don't.
play Call of Duty, it's way better on a controller just because I've played Call of Duty on my controller for years, right? So it depends on the person. So like I'm not yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. I want to see more crossplay, so much more, because I want to be able to play with my friends who are on PS4 in Overwatch. I don't want to be limited to just PC. It's not like I want to compete with them. There's always on a competitive level, of course you shouldn't be doing crossplay because there's gonna be lag and it's like yeah.
But there's going to be lag everywhere. And as far as the battle controller v keyboard and mouse, people are always going to be better on a keyboard and mouse. I'm going to tell you right now, I have watched streamers play Destiny on a controller on their PC and absolutely destroy people on keyboard and mouse.
Right.
The peripherals that you are playing on do not give you an advantage. It is your hand-eye coordination, it is your
Exactly.
reaction times that give you the advantage, and of course your internet. If you
Exactly.
have shit internet, there's nothing that's going to fix that.
Right. Right. It is. It is all hand-eye coordination, and some people are better with controller versus mouse and keyboard, or vice versa.
I don't know how to keyboard and mouse. I'm teaching myself that now, and I don't know how to do. I have a controller here on standby in case my hands cramp or I give up out of frustration.
I mean, I have a controller that I keep close by so that I can, because there are some games that, because I grew up a console player, I just naturally feel more comfortable playing certain games on the controller. But like all through college, I didn't have a console, and so I learned in college to play. I did the computer gaming, and so I'm this weird mixture, and now I'm mediocre at everything instead of good at one thing, right? But I don't care. I
Well,
have fun.
it's actually funny because I was playing on keyboard and mouse earlier, and it was a particularly intense moment. And my hands are cramping up, and I'm sweaty, and I'm sweating, and I'm like,
It's
oh
the
my god! And
worst.
then I'm done, and then I finally finished what I was doing, and I push my keyboard aside, and I go, I'm grabbing the controller
I hate when that
because my
happens.
hands were just like claw, like.
I hate when that happens, especially when like sometimes I'll be using the keys for so long and like my wrist and I'm like so I'm like doing this weird thing so I'm not like laying my wrist cuz I don't want to get carpal tunnel, right? And it's like, "Oh my god." So like I'll have my keyboard at such a weird angle so it's like so my arm is actually hanging off of the desk so it's not resting, and oh yeah, it's I get into weird positions when I'm playing games sometimes. But like if you watch professional players, they all do that. They all have their keyboards
Well, and
in weird
especially
positions.
streamers. I mean, like, are you kidding me? The people that stream 8 hours a day, you cannot tell me that they don't get up for a sec, sit on their feet, have the keyboard in their lap, have a controller,
I do
sit
that all
like
the time.
this.
All the
If
time.
you're doing a long stream, you have to do what is comfortable for you in that moment, because I cannot sit here like a drone for 8 hours and play a game. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna go get something to eat. I'm gonna text on my phone. I'll be right back. Like, I can't. I have too much ADHD in me to sit in one spot for 8 hours.
So what is the importance of accessibility uh as far as not in the form in which you're talking about with the cross platform, but as far as like you know, deaf, blind, wheelchair access, that the disability accessibility.
I am very empathetic towards those people for sure. I I sometimes will sit there and I'll have a sense of helplessness and stuff because if I'm thinking, gosh, if that ever happened to me, if I ever lost my sight or my hearing, or like it would just destroy me because there's so many things that we take for granted, and these amazing people power through it every day and find joy in their lives. So absolutely that should be able to translate to the gaming world. Like they're taking steps with gaming controllers and speakers that are designed, because that was one thing I never knew. And then I got a deaf person and they told me that they can hear music, they hear the vibrations,
Yeah.
they feel the vibrations and stuff. So if they're so rumble controllers and speakers for their computers, that those are important because they
Yeah.
get a feel, they get the atmosphere that is for them, that is the closest thing that they can experience, and they should be able to experience it.
Miss Gould, who is our deaf babelfish, has used a sound uh pack thing that a lot of DJs wear. The DJs will wear, because it helps them with the DJing and stuff. But because
Yeah,
she can feel, because it allows her to feel what is going on in the game, and like she is amazing at Rainbow Six Siege. And I'm
that is
like,
freaking
how are you
cool.
so good at Rainbow Six Siege? I can hear and I suck. Like I can hear these people walking around and I still can't shoot them. She can't hear them and she shoots them. Like how? Like I'm blown away at how amazing she is at this game. And yeah, she's talked to me about the Sennheiser. She got it from Sennheiser, who's one of our partners. They have this like just I don't even know what it is. It's just like this sound vest essentially that you wear, and you can feel the sounds. Um and so it's it is amazing to see those kind of things being implemented, in my opinion. And I know a lot of people use that argument of, well, if you make it accessible, then the competitive level is going to get really outlandish because people are going to abuse that.
I don't think that is the case. I think it is creating a level playing field, to the best ability that we can for the people who do not have the faculties that we take advantage, that we take for granted every day.
Right. Right. I understand like that thought process, like uh oh, well, let me just go get
Pardon
one
me.
of the new Xbox controller and set it up to where I can make it super easy for myself. You It doesn't mean that it's going to make you a better player.
No,
It just means that you can play a different way. And we have
it's 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 so crazy to me because I've seen those one-handed controllers, and they have like
yeah,
there's this guy called Ben Heck, and he does a lot of work for people who are differently abled in the gaming community. And one thing that he did was a one-handed Xbox controller where he had thumbsticks on either side because the person lost their hand and they
that's
love
amazing.
video games. So he had to retrain himself how to play, but he could play video games with one hand.
That's awesome. That's so cool. That is so cool. I love that Xbox is uh, kind of paving the way for that. We One of our girl streamers has been in the New York Times. In she's done a lot of stuff because she got access to their adaptive controller, and that's how she plays. And she uses a regular controller sometimes, and she uses the adaptive controller. And um, talking, and I've interviewed her before on the podcast. So if you guys wanted to hear her actually talk about that a bit, her name is Geeky Gimp. But it's amazing to hear like how, I mean, it's just, I find that so cool, and I hope that more companies will do stuff like that, because the adaptive controller, there are people who don't have arms who play with their feet and use that to play Overwatch, right? To play Call of Duty, to play Destiny, and it's amazing to see that,
And they're still better than me.
right? I'm like, you know
With
what?
both hands, they're still better than me.
It's amazing. It's so cool to see this. I'm blown away at that kind of technology, and I think it's a really, really awesome, inclusive thing, and just fills my heart with joy because I grew up. My dad is would he used to build wheelchairs, and for like he would build wheelchairs for people in the Paralympics. He used to do a lot of disability stuff and put up handrails and make everything handicap accessibility. That was a good part of his uh, work resume. So I got to experience that during a very formative part of my life, and so that's really important to me. And it's really nice to see the things that I love also be allowed for the people, for other people, not just me, this person who is like perfectly normal, right?
In
Normal
quotation marks.
in quotations, because there is no normal. um, yeah. So I guess we'll kind of. We're getting a little down to the wire here, but we've had such good conversations.
Yes,
And
we have.
so we have, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask them. We've got at least one hanging out. But I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and then we'll go over to the podcast questionnaire because it is dinner time for me and my stomach is screaming at me.
Oof.
So, what is who inspires you to be the woman that you are today?
That is a complicated question, and I'm going to give a very generalized answer. It's you, it's people in the Girlstreamers community, it's the women in my life, it is my girlfriend, it is my boyfriend who makes me feel beautiful, it is my friends who make me feel included, it is my family who accepts me as I am. It's all of those things that inspires me to be the person, to be the woman that I am.
I think that's awesome. Um, a community is really important. It really is. Because being accepted, having a positive community who not only lifts you up, but also brings you down when you need to get off of like your high horse, right? Like there's got to be a delicate balance in that regard. But a community that accepts you, just utterly accepts you, all flaws, is so important. It's so important. So what do you like about being a part of Girlstreamers?
We were talking about it earlier, and I thought that would have been a great segue to this question. I like being a part of Girlstreamers because y'all make me feel included. Y'all make me feel beautiful, and I try to pass that on, and because my belief is always like everybody deserves to feel beautiful, and it's not just uh, assigned to gender. Like people are beautiful, and they're allowed to feel that way.
I agree.
And I feel that way when I'm in Girlstreamer, and that is the reason why I love being a part of Girlstreamer.
Oh, hey, puppy, come on, go, go. You're making too much noise. Chill out.
Ozer poser, little ozer to pose.
The dog's tail is like hitting the desk over here, and I'm like, stop it. uh, so what keeps you so passionate about gaming?
Um, the ability to escape, the ability to play a game to just shut down. Like the gaming for me has changed so much in the last 2 years from what it used to be. Because I used it as an escape for so long, to escape myself, to escape life, to escape everything, and I would become obsessed in playing things. And I think if I was getting into a heated debate about gaming versus addiction, and how a lot of people, there's a stigma around gaming and gamers and streamers and stuff, as far as between us and the general public.
Right.
And uh, I love the community. I still love to play video games, but it's not in the same capacity that it used to be. I'm not just playing games to escape. I'm playing games to socialize. I play games. I very rarely will you find me play a single player game unless it is a very good story.
Yeah.
Because I'm too busy trying to play with friends and make friends and be social, because I'm not using it as just an escape anymore. I mean, sure, it's nice to, shut your brain off and shoot some things in the face, but
Very much so.
that's where it should end. It should end up being cathartic. It shouldn't be just my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, that's interesting that you bring up the addiction thing. Uh, a lot of people, a lot of the things that I'm seeing in the general public, they're all like, "Oh, don't let your kids start playing early." And it's like, okay, it's it's addiction, right? Like there really doesn't need to be a label when it's addiction, right? Because you can be addicted to literally anything. You can be addicted to food. You can be addicted. Alcohol addiction is a very real thing. You know, being addicted to smoking too much weed is a thing. It's not going to really damage your
Absolutely.
body like alcohol is, but it will damage you, right? Addiction is not just so gaming addiction, yes, is a very real thing, but it's not the game you're addicted to. It's the feeling you get that you are addicted to when
Mm-hmm.
you are doing that game. And so
Yep.
anything like that, moderation is key. I'm addicted to food. I love food. I eat all the time. That's why I'm a fat ass, right? I love food and I eat my feelings. That's one of the things that I personally struggle with on the regular basis. I eat my feelings.
Well, I
And yeah, so
I just want to take a second to tell you that you are beautiful.
shut up. Shut up.
That is the appropriate answer. That is the answer I always get, but I will always tell people that they're beautiful.
Um,
Um, but I think addiction is the wrong word. I think when you say yes, my body is physically addicted to drugs and alcohol, that is a fair use of that word. But when you say addiction, I think there's another word that we haven't even come up with yet that it should be, where if you're so obsessed with one thing that it makes you inert, that instead of say like I'm going to go to work today, no, instead I'm just going to stay home and play video games because I'm really obsessed with doing this right now.
well, because
That
uh, it's the mental. So it's basically whereas you have the food and the alcohol, drugs, whatever that creates this that helps create this high, right? And the mental thing comes in on top of that. So you got the wham bam of the physical and the mental. Whereas stuff like gaming, you don't really have the physical thing. You just have the mental aspect of it, of the addiction
yes.
side. So, but there isn't a word that properly encompasses that idea aside from addiction.
Yes. Aside from self-harm, that's
Yeah.
all I can that's all I can think of. If you just like, and it could be for fixation. I like that. Fixation is a good word for that.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent. Sorry, I was reading chat and somebody posted. Um, but like, and to get crude here, it's just like the life choices that we make. Like instead of doing something positive, like going to work and do something for a living or cleaning your house, you masturbate or you do something that keeps you from doing it. That's when those things become the problem,
Yes.
because you're not being active and you're not doing positive things or making a positive choice for yourself.
Right. Right. You are actively avoiding doing what you need to do to be a basic healthy person. And
Yes. And I think fixation is definitely the right word for that.
yeah, that's actually a really great word. Fixation is such a good word. Um, Man, this has just been such a good conversation. Okay, let's lighten things up a little bit. What advice do you have for new people getting into streaming?
Don't take it so seriously. Definitely don't take it so seriously. You're not going to make it big. Do not tell yourself or give yourself high hopes and have these delusions of grandeur of internet stardom. It's not going to happen. It could, but it's not likely to happen.
Yeah.
And if you do that and you think in that manner, then you're going to enjoy the experience a lot more. And not only that, but take any advice you can get from other streamers. Like connect with people, network. Get like the best way for a new streamer to grow that I have seen is making friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's networking with other people who also stream, play with those people, and it's just symbiosis is what
It
it
is.
is. It's symbiosis in action. It's just like, okay, hey guys, we should check out Ruby over there. She's pretty awesome. Then all of a sudden, I've got 2 new followers from your stream
Yeah.
hanging out with my stream just because we're friends and we're hanging out.
Yeah. No, no doubt. Like, it is. And that's the whole point of why people do like why groups like Girl Streamers and Unified Streamers exist, right? Because it gives you a place to come in and hang out with people. And I was reading Twitter yesterday and I noticed some people were complaining about how they just don't do streamer communities because those communities don't do anything for them. And to that concept, yes, there are really bad communities out there, but there are really good communities out there. And to just throw them all away based off of bad communities doesn't do you justice because,
You haven't found the right one.
right, and you have to put in the effort. It's not oh, I joined Girl Streamers. Yay. Now I'm going to get all these followers. No. It is a platform for you to communicate and talk with other fellow members. It's not a place for you to come and immediately become internet famous. It is literally a networking opportunity. It's just like me
100%.
saying, "Oh, I joined Women in Film LA." Okay, great. Now I should get jobs. No, I have to go to the networking events and meet people and talk to people and let them know that I exist to get those jobs, right?
100%.
So, don't blame the community. Look at yourself in that regard. What are you doing? Are you making that effort or is it just a bad community? So, yeah, networking is such an important thing. It's so important. So important. So what's an ideal weekend for you?
An ideal weekend for me, gosh, would be this one. This one's pretty ideal. I did some cleaning. I
Nerd.
had my girlfriend over. played video games, we slept, we watched TV. It was very relaxing. I didn't have to worry about work. I was camping all week long, and I just got home on Friday. So, yeah,
Nice.
sounds like a pretty ideal weekend.
Nice. I love camping. I haven't been camping in a year. Husband, I want to go camping. Oh, I love camping. That is one of my favorite things to do.
Oh, well, camping in quotation marks. We went to a cottage. I would have
Oh,
preferred tent camping. I like tent camping better, but whatever.
we can't we have to have access to we can't full on go like true tent camping where there's no stuff because he has a CPAP, so we have to have
Me
electricity.
too.
So
Me too.
it's more in the realm of glamping, but like we don't bring those massive stoves. We cook over the fire. Like we do the
Oh
whole
my god.
yeah. We have fun with it.
I love my friend, and just on the off chance that he's I'm sorry, but you brought your gaming computer to the cottage.
No! Are you
You brought
serious?
your gaming laptop to the cottage. Come on, man.
I judge you. I judge you, friend. I judge you so hard.
There's a lake and there is swimming. No, but to be fair, he wasn't actually playing games a lot. He was writing his stories that he was working on.
Oh, see, that's something my husband would do. Well,
Yeah,
he
I
tends to
don't think
bring
there's
a
anything
pen
wrong
and paper with him and just write stuff on it. And then comes home. Yeah, when we go camping, we try to do the whole no phones, no nothing except like if we want to go somewhere and you need to GPS something. But yeah. So that's awesome. Man, I bet it was really nice. Oh man, I'm so jealous. Now I want to go camping. Dang
with. It
it.
was really nice. It was really nice. I can send you pics later if you want because I
Yes.
found you in a certain book of face and I might add you.
Okay. Yeah, I will definitely love to see pictures.
Yeah.
So I've got one last question for you, and then we will look at the podcast questions. What is your strongest passion outside of streaming?
My strongest passion outside of streaming would be cooking. I love to cook. I like to bake, but the problem is that it's my job, so I don't want to do it when I come home. And on the weekends all I want to do is game or anything. So I'm honestly trying to get out of working in kitchens because I'm tired of it. I'm actually wanting to go back to school maybe next year to go for computer programming
Oh,
because it's an avenue in which I could definitely make more money. I would have a career that would have advancement. I would have benefits, better salary, more something more stable than a kitchen life can provide me because the hours are so sporadic.
yeah.
Like to anybody who doesn't work in a kitchen, don't do it. To anybody who does work in a kitchen, you feel my pain, get out. It is not a healthy environment.
It is, and oh man, that's
And
I
it's
used to
so
be a
hard.
server, so I can respect that. Because they work hard back there. Like they work hard, and when the server screws up, it just throws everything off in the kitchen, and just like, oh, it's awful. It's terrible. It is terrible. So yeah, I can understand that because I mean you've cooked on stream before, and the things that you cooked, what I've seen you cook, looks so good, and I want to eat it so bad. I'm just like
And that's the
nom
thing
nom
is
nom.
I've only done one cooking stream and I would like to do more, but I need to find my passion for it again. And right now it's just kind of fizzled because
Yeah.
of my job.
No, I totally respect that. I totally understand that concept. So we've got one question here. If you guys have any questions, please feel free. I know this is a off time for the podcast, but thank you for everyone who's been here. I really wanted to do this podcast. So, Scooter asks, "What are your opinions on the tag gender fluid?" It's a good question.
Um, that is a good question. I think that people like, and this is how it should apply to everyone. I don't understand gender fluid. I'm empathetic and I can understand the people who are struggling with it and the very real emotions behind it. That's one of my greatest weaknesses actually is my empathy. I will cry because somebody else dropped their ice cream on the ground. Like I'm like
I do the same.
but I don't understand it doesn't mean I can't be empathetic about it, and it doesn't mean that I should I'm trying to think of the right word, be prejudiced towards them.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's the same. It's the same thing for being trans. Not everybody understands it. Not everybody knows what it means. But you don't have to know what it means. You just have to respect it.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, so many people, like, for the longest time, I had a hard time understanding trans. And a lot of that comes from where I grew up, all of that kind of stuff, like, my history. But as I got older and, listened to other people, I realized I'm never going to fully 100% understand it. But I can still understand the fact that they're struggling, right? And I can respect them and, allow friends to go through whatever the hell they need to go through to get through it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay if you don't know. And I think that's what a lot of people have fears of. Is like, I don't understand it, I don't know it, so I don't like it, right? And because people don't like not knowing about something because it gives anxiety and most people struggle with that concept of I don't fully understand this, I don't know this, so this makes me feel weird, right? And it is different for everybody. 100% agree, Scooter. It is different for everybody, and everybody's experience is going to be different.
Yeah, and it will be. And if you'll allow me to, I would like to share something that's
Go
very
for it.
personal and very scary to share. Mainly because I have been shit on by other trans people for it, and I don't think it's the right approach. Some people, some trans people feel dysphoric, which is
Mm-hmm.
this out of place feeling, like a sickening feeling in the pit of your stomach. I never felt that. I don't get this. I never got dysphoric before I came out. I never felt the compulsion to be this way, or even if it is a compulsion, I don't know. Like there's some things I don't understand because everyone is different.
Right.
But I knew that I was unhappy. I knew what I wanted, and I chose to be this person because it was either that or die being the person I was.
Yeah. Um, I think that's a very appropriate thing to. I mean, yeah, like everybody experiences it differently, and um, just because you're not experiencing it the same way someone else is doesn't mean their struggle isn't real.
So
So
as sorry, I kind of want to go back to what I said.
no,
Yes,
go ahead.
I chose to be this way, but I have always been this way. It's a weird catch 22 where
Yeah,
it's uh, because we all make choices. We do. But there was an air of truth behind that choice that and it was weird because I didn't even know it was like a lie that I was living that was so convincing to myself that I didn't even know I was lying to myself.
that is a concept I can actually understand. That is, yeah, you convince yourself that no, 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 I'm really not this way. I'm this way. And
Well, but
yeah, no, I
well,
totally agree.
it's
Or I
it,
totally
it's
understand
because
that.
it's because like I've known I was this way since I was 14, and I've been doing research on it. But keep in mind, in the last 16 years, there has been a lot more exposure in the trans community, a lot more positive, like positive steps taken towards people just not being jerks.
Yeah.
People being more accepting. And I I always thought, oh, because I'm not exhibiting these symptoms or because it's a mental illness, because that's what it was 16 years ago. People thought that people who felt dysphoric or had gender identity crisis had a mental illness and they treated it as such. And I thought, oh, just because I don't have it, like I don't have that feeling that I must not be. And then it wasn't until 2 years ago that I met some lovely people in uh, a Discord. Do you mind if I shout the Discord out?
Sure, go ahead.
Discord is Transmission Gaming,
Oh, I've heard of
and
them.
it yeah. Do you know who Nicotine is?
Is it spelled weird? Or is it spelled like
Nikatine.
Okay, no. Then I don't. Okay.
Okay, she's another beautiful, lovely trans woman who's a streamer, and she runs that Discord. And it was the people that I met there that told me, like 2 years ago, when I was in an abusive relationship, I felt like crap all the time. I wanted to kill myself. I was so unhappy and so miserable. And I talked to them, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, you don't have to be dysphoric to be trans." And I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, you don't have to be dysphoric to be trans." I'm like, I have some serious choices to make. And I have some phone calls to make. Okay, bye. Like, and then it came down to it, and literally within 2 months of talking to these people, I had the courage to come out. I had the courage to leave my job. I had the courage to leave my ex-wife, and I had the courage to be who I am today. And there were some ways that I went about it that could have been better. There were some bridges that I didn't have to burn, but on the whole, I am so much happier now.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. I I know when you are going through something like that, it does come with a lot of mental issues. But saying someone is mental because of the fact that they don't feel the gender that they were born is such a horrible concept to me and just breaks my heart. Like, oh, you were born with a penis, so that means you have to be a guy. You don't feel like a guy? Well, then you're messed up in the head. No. The stuff that's messed up in the head comes later because of all of the crap that's piled onto you for trying to be what you're not.
And there are so many places where it is way worse than where I live. There are so many states still where you have to live as a woman for a year before you even get to see a doctor.
What? Wow.
So that means no hormones.
Wow.
You're schlepping it. You're trying your best. You're trying to present, and you can only go like I've only been on hormones for like 4 months.
Man, that's insane.
And the wait list that I had to get on to get my hormones was a year. I had one doctor's appointment. I lived as a woman for a year regardless because that was just how I was happier. But it wasn't compulsory for me to get my hormones. It wasn't compulsory for me to get the help that I needed. But I'm very happy that I live where I live. I'm very happy that I was able to go into the trans health clinic, and they were able to give me counseling that I needed, because they also have informed consent here, which means you sign a piece of paper, you say you know the risks of the hormones, and they give you the hormones.
Yeah.
You could walk into a regular walk-in clinic, sign a piece of paper, and walk out with hormones.
Wow.
But I went through the long steps because I knew that I was unhappy for so long, and I'm taking the steps towards being happy, and I need it. It's like taking antidepressant if you're depressed. That is part of the work.
Yeah.
You don't take a pill and go, I feel better, I'm done. You work on yourself. Can you list a few of the risks I don't know about?
Do you have the risk of taking hormones?
So depending on the hormones, I know that estrogen, you have an increased chance of stroke. You have an increased chance of cancers. You have an increased chance of heart disease.
Yeah.
When
Well,
it
women
comes
are the
to
ones who have the number one. Their heart disease is the number one killer for women because of
yes,
estrogen.
yes, it is. Sorry, I'm parched and I have nothing to drink.
That's okay.
And some of the risks behind T blockers are liver failure, and
Ugh.
God, liver failure and stroke as well. So it's like double whammy. And it
Gee.
depending on the T blockers that you take, I am on the common one in the UK and a lot of the other states where you don't need FDA approval. I am on Soproterone, which is a T blocker that is an alternative drug to treating prostate cancer patients. In higher doses, it causes liver failure, but it also helps treat prostate cancer patients, and that is in exceeded amounts of 125 milligrams or more.
Oh.
I take 12 milligram,
Oh, okay. So you're on.
which is
Okay.
like a quarter of a tablet this big. So I have to cut a tablet this small into 4 tiny friggin' pieces.
Oh,
And
that's insane.
but the common one in US is spirolactone, and one of the side effects of spirolactone is tiny bladders. Causes you to pee a lot, but it also means you get dehydrated really quickly.
Yeah.
So you need to drink lots of water. You will crave salty things. Pickles are your friends.
I took a high blood pressure pill that caused that for me, and I ate pickles the all I did was crave pickles. I craved pickles because that was the side effect. Is it just made me pee. I did not like the way it made me feel, and so I stopped taking that medicine. But yeah, I it is hormones. Messing with hormones in general is just really risky, and women kind of get the shit end of the stick when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm.
We really do.
Yeah, yeah, we do. And I will say for the record, because you were there when I told you this a few months ago, but I had the trans equivalent to a period, and it was
Oh yeah,
fucking horrible. Pardon
yeah,
my French. Sorry, it was horrible.
yeah.
Absolutely horrible.
Because you got
And
cramps as well.
because of the up and down that my body is taking, and the doctor adjusted my estrogen to a higher dosage, my body was basically rejecting the estrogen and causing PMS symptoms,
Yeah.
and it was the worst. And my
I.
girlfriend brought me chocolate, and I love her.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I didn't realize um that the tea blockers could cause liver. That's ugh. Don't drink.
So I don't drink.
Yeah.
I don't drink, and the only bad habit that I do have that I really desperately want to quit is smoking. And that paired with the estrogen increases my risk of stroke significantly.
Yeah. Yeah. I smoke weed, but I need to stop because it's gonna kill my throat. But yeah, I'd rather have edibles anyway. It's legal here.
It's legal here. It's legal in all of Canada. Anybody just come on up. I have a couch. Crash on my couch. Buy some weed. Eat a beaver tail.
What?
They're delicious.
Is a like a legit beaver tail?
No. See, if you were a much more ignorant person, I would totally go with it. Beaver tail is like, think of like a flat funnel cake.
Okay.
Coated in cinnamon and sugar.
I want a beaver tail.
They're delicious.
That sounds
amazing.
That sounds effing amazing. Holy cow. Holy cow, that sounds amazing. Well, we are yeah.
we're close.
Almost at 2 hours, so I think this is actually a great place to end it with beaver tails. And you know what? That's going to be the name of this podcast.
Oh, nice.
Beaver tails. So people have to listen to the whole podcast to understand the beaver tails.
They have to go all the way to the end.
Honestly, thank you so much for being so open and telling me your story. Like this, I know we skipped a lot of questions today that I normally ask, but
that's all right.
It's been such a great conversation, and I really appreciate you being so open. Where and when can these people find you?
When is a question that'll be up in the air. Where you can find me over on twitch.tv/ItsChefRuby, and you can find me on Twitter at ItsChefRuby, and I believe on my Twitch page there's other links to different social media, so I'm not going to get into that rigmarole because Twitter and Twitch is pretty much all I use.
Yeah, once you get all of these, because you're still in the transition of updating all of the stream stuff, so
yeah, and then it's coming up with a schedule, and then it's work is insane, and then it's I'm feeling particularly emotional today, so it's getting the effort to try to stream and wanting to stream instead of coming home and going to bed.
Well, you will get there.
I know I will.
Thank you again so much. I really, really appreciate it. This has been a Girlstreamers podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Girlstreamers is partnered with Loot Crate, Simple Jerky, UN Racing Chairs, Glam Tom, Sennheiser, and Humble Bundle. And links to all these amazing all these amazing partners are down below. So please feel free to click. Thank you guys for all of your support. Please follow us on Girlstreamers at Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram. If you have any questions or would like more information, you can visit our website at girlstreamers.com and contact us through there. You can subscribe to us on Twitch, and don't forget, when you subscribe, you get access to our Discord channel, and you can buy some super cool gear in our online shop at Designed by Humans. I apologize for the dog. designedbyhumans.com/shop/girlstreamers. You can find Ruby on Twitter at ItsChefRuby. That's ITSCHEFRUBY. And on Twitch at twitch.tv/ItsChefRuby. ITSCHEFRUBY. Our next podcast will be July 7th. That is this Sunday with Gamer Miss Buns right here, same time. And this podcast is a part of the Two Lazy Dogs Media Group and the Girlstreamers community. Encourage, support, grow.